Hello, and welcome to Indiepocalypse Radio, the number one game radio show that happens at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on Twitch.tv, and later whenever you decide to download it, I guess if you listen to podcasts or listen to it on the web. I am your host, Andrew, the number one host of this show and the only host of this aforementioned show. And I am just kind of like relax on a Saturday night, and I'm here to hang out with my guests, including this first guest here, Jordan, who you may know. Oh, I'm ahead of myself. You may know from his work on Mop Boy in issue 6 of Indiepocalypse. Jordan Eggleston. Jordan, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. Happy to be here.
Glad to have you here. So, I gotta ask. So I have a question here from our
Okay.
previous guest, and this is an important question, and it is, if you were a fast food chain, what chain would you be?
Ooh, is this like existing fast food chains?
I think that's open to interpretation.
Okay. Well, so I feel like I've got a big thing for Mexican food, but I also feel like there aren't like Taco Bell doesn't really count, but I still haven't really found my limit to how many of their taco supremes I can like eat. Like I hit six and it wasn't enough. So I feel like if it were my job to just like stuff as many taco supremes as I could into someone's mouth, that's a pretty good job to have. So I'm,
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Taco Bell.
That seems like I'm not sure what the qualification for that job would be, or I guess what function that job provides.
Well, I guess the job in this case is the food chain itself.
Okay.
So like, I'm not exactly like a cashier. I'm just the concept of the Taco Bell.
Okay. So now a taco supreme. What is a taco supreme exactly?
I feel like it's not what I think it is, but I think it is just like it's just like a small taco. It's got your beef in there. It's
Yeah.
got some like there's like the regular taco which has like beef and cheese maybe, I think.
Yes.
But then the Taco Supreme throws sour cream into the mix and some lettuce and like 3 cubes of like tomatoes
Wow.
and then you're good to go.
Because back in my heady Taco Bell days, when I ate a lot more Taco Bell, I would just get like gorditas
The
or
gorditas.
the cheesy gorditas.
Oh, well, now they got like a cheesy gordita crunch, I'm pretty sure. I don't know what's in it, but I've heard that combination of words before, so I
I
assume it's real.
I assume we're talking about the same thing. I
Oh,
forget what the context of a gordita is and like what kind of food it is. I mean, it's beef tortilla and cheese,
I
and
see.
maybe
So the cheesy gordita crunch is really like that is the gordita.
right. But the thing is, it's a soft shell with a hard shell inside of it and cheese in between,
Oh,
keeping the two shells
wow.
together.
That's impressive, I feel like.
I
Wow.
I think so.
I am Googling images now. So, yeah, that is very impressive.
Wait, shit.
Oh, have I been
Okay, no, I'm good. I don't know what happened. I think I have a very sensitive microphone wire, and I got a little spicy with it. All this taco talk, and I jiggled it a little, and my audio dipped out for a second, but we're good now.
okay, sweet.
I saw all those bars disappear, and I thought, oh, that's the end of it all.
Well, I'm glad it wasn't.
But in the meantime,
Oh, hello? Did it Oh no, I can't hear you. I don't know if it died again or you just fell in a hole.
I fell in a hole. I am back from the hole. The hole was called me having my microphone cable intermingle with my headphone cable, and the two of them wrestling for control. And the headphone
It's a
cable is
long
always
name
going to
for a
win.
hole.
The headphone cable is always going to win. But that's all aside. So I mentioned it up at the top. Mop Boy. What's Mop Boy? I don't. Let's pretend I don't know what it is. What's Mop Boy?
Well, so I'm just gonna let the listeners know right now. I'm gonna do a much worse job at explaining what Mott Boy is than my friend Paige, who's gonna be coming on later. But my
Ooh,
synopsis is that
spoilers.
it's this game about this kid, and his name is Mop, but he also mops, and your job is to like clean up the restaurant that your
Okay.
family owns.
Yeah.
And so like that's like the gameplay aspect is you're just smacking the mess out of like grease monsters and stuff. But then there's also the story, which is you like kind of facing off against this health inspector with your family, and you get to like talk to your family members and stuff and like experience that
Now
whole
it sounds
thing.
like this health.
So
It sounds like okay. You're talking about fighting grease monsters, and it sounds like this health inspector is just trying to do his job.
well, I mean, that's what you'd like to believe,
Yeah.
but maybe there's a little something going on. Like, why are these grease monsters attacking now during this health
That,
inspection?
that's a good question. The rats always seem to show up when the health inspector comes.
Yeah,
I don't know about this. I don't trust this Mop Boy. I think he's up to something.
I think Mont Boy is just trying to do his job.
Oh shit.
Maybe we all are.
Damn. Damn. Maybe we are all trying to do our job, and then we're all just pinned against each other naturally.
Wow.
Unlocking the secrets of this year. So I have to to go sideways with my usual important question of how did you hear about this? Because you didn't, because I think I emailed you about it.
Yeah,
Indiepocalypse
it's
told us
true.
the broader concept of joining it. So the other question, I suppose, is, hey, why did you answer that Indiepocalypse email?
Well, um, I mean, we read like all of our emails, I'm pretty sure, except for the ones that are like, you've got an upcoming payment. We don't read those ones.
Oh, I read those twice and I go, oh shit, what is that for?
But I remember we read the Indiepocalypse like email, and I just thought that it was first of all that it was crazy that you were offering us money. It definitely seemed like it was supposed to be the other way around because we've also been a part of like other events and things, and
Yeah.
it's always like pay this to advertise your game.
Yeah, and
Um,
there's one coming up that is like pay $75 for the judging process, and then like $600 to be part of our digital event.
yeah, that's like very wild but prominent for sure. But like the more we looked into Indiepocalypse and stuff, it really seemed to be kind of similar to what we were doing in the sense that it's like it's not just Indiepocalypse is there to bring in a bunch of like indie games. Indiepocalypse in itself is like an indie magazine. Like, it's I feel like the fact that you run it and like are totally in charge of, plucking people and stuff or like deciding who gets in there and everything. It just felt very like genuine. Um, and it was just crazy that we were even being offered to like get in there like so early on. It was like issue 6.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, reading it wasn't hard at all, and then responding to it. I mean, we've always got to kind of get ourselves together because there's 3 of us.
Yeah.
But that was I feel like the more I learned about Indie Apocalypse, the more I was like, we should definitely do this. Like this seems really fun.
Okay, I'm glad because sometimes it feels like it's weirdly difficult to like pay people. Okay, not the cover artists are very easy to pay. I just say, would you like to make a cover? And sometimes I get emails back like right away, like yes, I would love if you gave me money to do work. Game developers though, they're a tricky bunch. I'm like, I would like to give you money for you to do no work, and they're like, I don't know about this.
I don't know. I feel like people, indie games in particular, or at least the people that make them are, yeah, I'd say like a tricky bunch
Yeah,
because these are like our babies. And even if it's like, I will pay you money to like show your child a little, just like to a little pocket of the world. It's like, well, I don't know if like there's a lot of people that get hung up on like, is my baby ready?
right.
Like, is it like they don't want to show it because they're not like But also, I feel like at any point is a great point to show off your game. Like, it doesn't have to be a perfect form of art. It can just be
Well, I
in
mean,
progress.
the
That's still
secret is
good.
it'll never be perfect.
Ooh, double true.
So you just gotta like
Because you
go
can always add more
right,
or take
exactly.
away. You're like, I don't like this.
Right, you add 15 more systems. You're like, oh, I don't like these middle 12 systems. Let me get rid of all those.
It's true.
How many collectibles does Mop Boy have?
Collectibles?
Yeah,
Uh,
so that I can track on my
well,
character percentage completed. Do I
I
collect like
mean, currently we've got like a goo jar, and if you like clean up all of the gunk in like a level, then it fills it up to the top. So like we got that.
Okay, so you there aren't
Um,
like golden mop heads scattered around the levels. No, like
oh well, those are coming.
okay, if I do side quests, I get like platinum do not slip signs.
That should be a thing, I feel like.
How many
And then of course
currencies do you
like the mandatory what entire room of the house where you can see all the stuff you've collected.
yeah, like
Yeah.
how do you expect to succeed nowadays without a crafting system?
You've got to have a crafting system. Otherwise it's not really a video game.
No, I need to like manage 12 different currencies for some reason because somebody finds it enjoyable somewhere, I guess. Anyway, video games are a thing that exists. Do you play video games, Jordan? Jordan, you play any video games?
Oh boy, do I play video games.
What?
Um, yeah, I play some games. I recently I feel like I haven't played as many. Like in my gaming prime,
Right.
which was probably like a few years ago, I was just like knocking out indie game after indie game, really trying to kind of see what everybody was up to.
Yeah.
Um, but now I've mostly just been playing like a whole lot of Smash Bros. No, I didn't beat Hades, but I tried to beat Hades. Um, I got a Super Mario 3D World, which I don't play a lot of Mario games, but I figured I should check them out.
Yeah,
And that's
there's
been
something
pretty
in there.
good.
You can run, you can
Yeah.
jump, and it usually is fun to play.
Yeah, there's a lot of really interesting like things that they do in terms of accessibility, and like they never really force you to complete something right, which I think is just a big Nintendo thing. Like,
Right. Well, I mean, they make games for children, so
yeah. But
for
this it's just interesting looking at all their like design choices and stuff.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Um I feel like let me see what else. The other thing is I don't like sometimes I'll play like I play a lot of games like regularly, but also sometimes I'll peek into a bunch of games. Like I'll just pop open a demo or something and I'll play
Yeah.
like a few minutes of that just to see what's going on there.
Yeah.
Um
I had for about a month or so. I went through my entire Steam catalog, playing a little bit every game, and like basically like doing a mass culling of I'm never gonna actually play this game. I'm gonna hide it forever, kind of thing.
wow. That's probably a lot of games because I feel like you can really collect Steam games very easily.
Yes, and I was definitely like, I think when those sales, do people still get excited about Steam sales?
I feel like it's not as big, but I'm sure
Yeah,
it happened. Oh, especially like what summer sale and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Okay, no, yeah, never mind. Definitely. Like I
Okay, I
feel
was
like
gonna say I don't know if like people just stopped getting excited for it, or if all the people I know like we all got in early and now we have too many games we don't care anymore.
mm, well, there's always someone who needs more
Right,
games.
somebody needs a copy, all the copies of like Iron Hearts or whatever, and all these yeah. That's how you end up with like 15 European strategy games that all look exactly the same and feel exactly the same. And you're like, well, I guess they were 80 cents. So,
Yeah, might as I mean, at that point you can buy 6 games for like $4. Yeah, sure, why not?
right. Yeah. Who cares if I'll ever never play all of these games? Doesn't hurt to have them. But anyway, are there any, you said you hadn't played much Mario. Is there anything that you consider to be like a blind spot in your game history?
Oh yeah. First person shooters for
Okay.
sure. Uh I have never been great at them, and recently I started being like, oh, I'm not good at them. and I haven't played them. Maybe I should try a few and like get good. But I never really got around to that. And not a lot of I'd say RPGs too, and sports games,
Okay.
which is an interesting part of game development that I feel like people don't really talk about a lot. Not
Right.
exclusively like Madden and stuff, but I'm sure that there's tons of like smaller games that people don't hear about that are sports related that I
Yeah.
just haven't
That
checked out. Yeah.
that fall more into I think because I think people probably maybe talk more about like arcade sports style games and less like sim sports style games.
Oh, like games that don't exclusively try to like replicate the actual game,
Yeah,
but they kind
like soccer, but Mario plays it. You know.
of. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I don't really, I still don't really even know where to look for those. But I mean, those are definitely three of my biggest blind spots, and I'm sure I have like a ton more.
Right.
But um, I do try to be aware of the games that I'm not playing as well.
Right. It's always interesting to have like a perspective on things. Although games are tricky because it's harder to get into games because they're six, like RPGs. How long would it take you to feel caught up on RPGs? You know.
Oh yeah. I mean, I have the other game that I've been playing recently is Earthbound. I've never played Earthbound, and it's a
Yeah.
big point of inspiration for Mop Boy.
Yeah.
Um, just because one of our artists was, played that growing up. And it's been taking me forever to get into that because you've got to like grind, and you've got
Yeah.
to fight weaker enemies just to like advance and stuff. So
Let me
that's a
tell you.
big shift for me where a lot of the games that I play are just platformers and you're equipped from the get-go to advance.
Let me tell
But
you
it's
about a
all
friend of
part of,
mine, which
you
is
know, you grow and you get stronger.
yeah, yeah. Let me tell you about a friend of mine with that. It is using an emulator and having a
Ooh.
fast forward button mapped to like a right analog stick or something. Really, really takes the heat off of that grinding.
Oh, well, I remember I had a Visual Boy Advance,
Yeah.
and I think I must have just accidentally gotten rid of that when my last computer died. Uh, but I played a lot of like Pokemon games that I missed out on, and like Sonic Battle was a thing for a second. I was like, oh yeah, let me
Is that
play this.
is that the
But yeah,
3D? Is that
emulators
the weird?
save lives.
Is Sonic Battle like the weird like overhead isometric one?
Yeah, it was. They really changed stuff for that.
I have very little like perspective for like I played I first at one point I went through like almost every GBA game. I'm like, oh wow, a lot of these are bad. And there's that weird what's with 3D GBA games?
Yeah, they were just trying. They were really trying. I feel like they thought that that's what handhelds were kind of going, but
Yeah,
they hit it a little early. I feel like,
they all have this
um,
weird like gunky look to them.
yeah, they're all really chunky because they got there's so many just like very limited pixels and stuff. It makes an interesting aesthetic though.
Yes,
Um,
I wonder if anyone will once everyone gets bored of PS1, they'll all switch over to GBA 3D, which is like ugly clay polygons that are kind of like I don't know, like they're
yeah,
ugly as
they're a
town.
little off.
They're
They
ugly as
tried.
yeah. I kind of like them in a weird way, but as like they're hideous. They're like bad CG. But that is well beside the point, I suppose. Also, little tip: freezing health values. I fast forward even was too much. I was playing through the first Dragon Quest. And I'm like, oh, I don't even want to grind. So if you get a good emulator like a BizHawk, you can just go in there and Jordy, you know how to like find and isolate RAM values in emulators.
Uh,
it's a, it's a great skill to learn. You pull up all the numbers that are changing. You pull up all the values of the game that are changing. You go, which one changes now? And then you find which one changed when your health changes, and then you freeze
and then you
it.
can just change that whenever you want.
Yep, or you just freeze it so it'll never change.
Okay.
And then you're just like, I don't need to worry about grinding because my health never goes down again. show the game Who is Boss.
Games are meant to be broken.
Yes. Now I was luckily. Uh, Roundabout question: have you ever gone to any like game events with Mop Boy, or done these game circuit as it were,
Well, so what's a game circuit?
or just like shows, trade
Okay,
shows?
yeah. So, oh, this is my leaky memory showing, but we definitely we went to MomoCon with
Okay.
Mop Boy, which
Okay.
was pretty crazy. Um,
Good. Good.
we
Good.
also did, oh dear. We did well, we went to MomoCon for sure, and
Yes.
I'm not like, I don't want to sound ungrateful to the other places that we went. Oh, we went to Athfest, which was kind of crazy. It's this thing in Athens
Yeah.
where it's not really for video games, but we went there anyway, and we were like the only video game there. So a bunch of kids would come over to like our tent, and they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, is this a game?" And the adults are like, "Did you make this? Like our kid loves." Yeah,
Wait.
so
Wait.
that was really nice.
So what is Athfest?
Athfest is, I'm pretty sure it's like an art
Okay.
um, festival kind of situation where people go there to showcase their art and crafts and things, and it's like a 3-day music and arts festival.
And how
And
did you just you just say like we have a gate? You just like submit it through a generic art submission form, and they're just like sure thing.
yeah, basically, yeah, we gave it a whack, and it is an art. It's just
Yeah.
very unconventional that someone would want to showcase their game there. And I think that was right before like this. We didn't get to go to the next Athfest because quarantine and all
Nobody
that.
went to it.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that honestly they would be more open to other people like sending games and stuff. And I feel like in general, like these festivals and things, they don't expect it, but that doesn't mean that they won't accept it.
Yeah.
Um, so if
Good.
if other people are looking to showcase their games and they're like, oh, I won't be able to make it into a game,
Right.
circuit, then try out some like an art music festival thing. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Or
Maybe.
even just like anime conventions.
Yeah.
They're
I mean,
everywhere. They're taking games now.
it's definitely the worst you can get is a no.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That was all a roundabout way to say that I was also at the last MomoCon, and I knew that you were there, and I was worried that I had been there and forgotten you, and that we had met
Wow.
before.
Really?
Fortunately,
Wait.
fortunately, that does not seem to be the case. That was my secret way of trying to figure that out.
Wow, okay. Well, wait. So, because yeah, we were probably wait, did we run into each other?
I don't think so. Or
No.
if we did,
Okay.
I forgot, and I didn't want to
Yeah,
feel
I
bad about it.
guess well, maybe what actually happened is we did see each other, but we both forgot and
Okay,
reality forgot as well.
good, good. Because a former guest and contributor, Chair G Tables, I had met at BoboCon, and he was like, "Do you remember me?" I was like, "I'm sorry, I don't." And then I talked to him. I'm like, "Oh wait, I actually do remember this person. I remember this energy." But
Ah, yeah.
it was also like a 4-day, like 12-hour shift show, so
Yeah, it's understandable to forget.
it was massive and chaotic, and there were a lot of people, and also, but it was like fairly well like positioned, I think. Like it got like a lot of incidental traffic for being where it was, like between the artist alley and like the I don't know what you call them, the
Oh
vendors.
yeah, I mean, definitely like trying to find the right location is a big part of every single one of these things. Um, because I mean, well, we were by State Farm one year,
Ooh,
and they just not a lot of gamers wanted to come by the State Farm booth, so they didn't really see us.
yeah, I've been in weird like rooms at the end of hallways
Yeah,
or
but
right
then you
by an
get the real
entrance.
dedicated, the people that want to see everything. They'll stop by, so
Yeah,
that's always nice.
is there like a game like a particular type of game that you don't like to be sandwiched next to if you were next to a game?
Um, The flashier, more attractive ones, because then we've got to watch them get all this attention while we have like a person at our booth.
Oh yes, that's.
Probably that.
You don't like the
um,
big multiplayer games where everyone's having a lot of fun, and then someone's sitting in
oh
the booth,
yeah,
and they're like,
because even then, it's like somebody will come to your booth and be like, "Ooh, what's this?" And then they hear cheering from the next booth, and they're like, "Oh, I'll just, thanks for letting me play. I'm gonna go check that out." Yeah.
that is yes. I always get sandwiched next to like VR or big loud
Ooh,
multiplayer, and I'm like, let's sit down and
the
play a
very
game.
tantalizing.
Yeah, I'm like, let me. And this is even pre Indiepocalypse. This is like games that I had made. And I was like, sit down and have a time with my quiet, contemplative story games about stuff. And they're like, oh well, I guess, but that one has dudes jumping on top of each other's heads, and then you get points. And I want to kill
Yeah,
them.
I mean, which one are you gonna pick as a consumer?
I'm gonna pick the multiplayer. If only I
Uh,
had roguelike elements in my game. But no.
nah, but in terms of like genre and stuff, I feel like I think I'm okay with being affiliated with most of them. Like I feel like even if it's like another fun little like family friendly platformer,
Right.
I'd be like, "Oh, it's cool. We're like pals."
Yeah, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I think there is like I've just sometimes there is like clearly a thing that's like weird vibe whiplash from booth to booth, and you just
Hmm.
get kind of like, well, I'm the come down, and some hopefully people will come down. And
Well, with that, because I also feel like if you have two very different games in terms of like pacing and vibes and all that, then you'll just kind of split the audience because some people prefer your game and some people prefer that one.
now, if you had an ideal, now you have, let's just say you have a budget, like a wide open, big old fat budget for conventions and all that fun stuff. What is the obnoxious piece of Mop Boy swag do you see that you give out that we see around the convention hall for the next 3 days?
Oh, I see. Oh, that's a tricky one. Um, Maybe some mops, but
Branded
I
mops?
also wouldn't want like yeah, just like a toy mop, but I wouldn't want people smacking each other with them.
No, they banned paddles for that.
Oh no. Okay, let me see. Well, if I have obnoxious money,
Yes, you
then
have
that means
obnoxious
that I
money.
can pay off the convention to
Yeah.
not tattle on me.
Oh shit. Yeah. Okay. So you're blowing all that money just on hush money, hush money
Yeah,
and mops.
exactly. I'll spend like $500 total on like a bunch of mops.
Now where
Like,
now
I don't know how much
where's your branding featured on this mop?
it's the mop. It's the people say, "Where'd you get that mop?" And they'll be like, "Mop boy."
Okay. And it's fully functional mop. You can take it home with you. Clean up your own
Yeah,
spills around the
well,
house.
maybe like if I really can blow the cash, I'll also make it so that it breaks very easily, so that then they just have like they're like, "Oh man, remember when we got that mop?" Wait, maybe not. It's kind of productive. Because if they just use it as a normal mop, then it loses the game. But if it like disappears and they miss the mop, then they'll
Yeah.
be like, I want that experience again.
Are you sure they're not going to be on Instagram and they're like closet mop boy cosplay and posing with your mop?
Well, that's true.
Think about it. It's like, why does everyone have mops nowadays? Mops are the new trend.
If I could start a mop trend, I mean that's all I really the game doesn't even have to actually release. If the mop trend just happens, then that's all I need.
We'll get on TikTok. Just got to find the right song. Have you have you ever considered inventing a TikTok dance?
Uh I feel like it would be too hard.
That
Um
does not stop people from trying.
that's true, that's true.
It's
Well, I don't know. TikTok is definitely like a hotbed of like new reused ideas.
yeah.
So I feel like inevitably we're gonna have to run into there and like do something fun. But making up a dance is really like the people who do that are really putting themselves out there. I feel like because I would not have the confidence.
They are. It's very bizarre, but like it's nothing new. People have been inventing dances for a long time. I was just thinking about what Freddie and the Dreamers. I think listen. Find some time in your life and look up "Do the Freddie." It's basically TikTok dances, but back in the '40s, where it's like three basic steps. But it's like this is the dance now.
Well, well, maybe it won't be hard to make a dance.
No, I've seen a lot of just very, maybe high effort, maybe low effort. I can't tell, but it's more like people just like struggling to find a unique combination of moves to do with their body, and there's only so many you can do. Simply, we can't all floss.
Well,
But that all aside, Jordan, we are approaching the end of our half hour.
whoa!
Yes, this all goes by very quickly.
I did happen quickly.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, oh, that's why I don't mind doing. That's why I like doing the 3 individual segments and going on to the group one, because those individual segments they fly by. So, any last parting words? I used to do a thing where I asked for things and suggestions, but I'm sick of that, so I'm not doing it anymore. I didn't like the way I phrased it, and I'm just like tired of it. And this is my radio show, and I can do whatever I want with it.
Hey, that's the energy.
Do you have
Um,
any parting words of wisdom? Granted, you'll be back soon.
that's true. Words of wisdom. Um, don't take anything that I say for like just don't listen to me ever. There we go.
Perfect. And with that, goodbye, everyone. We're going on break. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. Hello, and welcome to back to Indiepocalypse Radio. I'm not going to welcome you here the first time. We've already been here. And we are here with guest number 2, Cam. Hello, Cam.
Hello.
Hello. So, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, shit. I forgot how I intro people. You may know Cam from their work in Indiepocalypse issue number 1 with Absolute Unit. There we go. I always forget to do that because I just started like the last episode. Giving people proper intros.
Understandable. I could never run a podcast show. My brain's too like all over the place 24/7.
You need your brain to be. Here's the secret: is like have your brain be all over the place, but listen to like, kind of like pick up topics that people say during the conversation and like store them away in your brain locker to bring up later.
That's smart.
But you need to otherwise need to have a scattered energy just to keep things going. Cam, if you were a fast food chain, which one would you be?
Oh damn. That's the thing I was supposed to be listening or waiting or thinking about before.
No, Jordan didn't get a chance. So you don't either.
I feel like does like a Denny's count as a fast food chain?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna go with a Denny's because like I feel like there's a certain amount of chaos that's just always in a Denny's.
I can't remember the last time I went to a Denny's. There was one near a Rotary, I think, that I pass by sometimes. I went to a Waffle House when I was at MomoCon, and in my mind, they're somewhat similar.
Yeah, I feel like a Waffle House is a bit more violent than a Denny's is.
Maybe.
That's always the vibe I get.
Aren't Denny's open like all night?
I think so. I think they're like 24/7.
Yeah, which kind of makes you wish I could go to a Denny's. Just like,
yeah.
Have you ever traveled like late at night and just gone to stores at 3 a.m. because you're awake and they're open?
Yeah, I live on the shore in Jersey, so like there's this one diner that's open 24 hours a night. So like if we're ever on the island, we're like, oh, it's 3 a.m. Let's go to the diner.
And that the other liberation of having a car and being able to travel to anywhere you want.
Exactly. Except it doesn't matter now since we're all under lockdown. So
yes, we're all. But when this world opens back up and we can all go to our 24-hour Denny's and Walmarts and be like, I do need this Toblerone at 4 o'clock in the morning.
God, Walmart's another like lawless land.
Yeah, no, that was in high school when we had cars. this is the weird thing about talking to people I've never spoken to at least. I feel like we have spoken briefly before.
Mhm.
I can't remember everything
Fair.
perfectly.
Probably
but
very briefly.
yes, that's the tricky thing about traveling in the same circles. Is sometimes like, oh, I don't remember. I may have talked to this person 4 years ago, and then got basically reintroduced to them.
Yeah, it's scary whenever you go to like game conventions or stuff, and you're like, I feel like I'm gonna know this person, but like I don't know if they know me, and it's like,
Yes, exactly, and it's like, yeah, that's the weird nightmare is going to be like when this all opens back up, and I finally get to go out and do game shows again. Is when people approach me knowing me, I'm like, oh no, am I going to become a known quantity? Or it's like also I don't know with like this radio show, we don't have cameras on in the background. I don't know what any of you people look like.
Yeah. That's the other thing. I'm not like face blind, but like I'm very bad at like remembering faces. So like I
Yes.
remember someone's name, but then it's like I have no idea what you look like.
Now, this has actually gotten me very good at remembering names, and I'm very bad with names in general. Like I've talked
Same.
about like stories, and people are like, "Oh, you remember that character?" I'm like, by name, I'm like, I don't know who that character. Like, oh, I'm like, oh, them. I remember every detail about their story, but I just forgot what their name was.
I feel that so hard.
But I had somewhere, yes, high school lawlessness. You could just right. So this is a story I've told this radio show before, but I've never told you this before. So it's about like weird, like metering out. When do I tell a guest who hasn't heard a story before? And the context of, well, the radio audience who has theoretically heard the story 2 or 3 times before, and finding that balance.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, yes, lawlessness, the beauty of stores that don't close because somebody needs all that soda in the middle of the night.
Exactly.
And it is myself and my friends as teenagers.
It's just me now.
I mean, I make a lot of trips to the Stop and Shop after this because it's open late at night. And I had to explain what a Stop and Shop is last show.
Well, I know what a Stop and Shop is, so
yeah,
we're all good there.
If you drive by it. As Jordan Richmond said, it's the thing you drive by.
Yeah.
Because he loves Massachusetts. But anyway, we're going besides the point. So anyway, can I get to an important question? Indiepocalypse 1 was built entirely by cold emails. Why did you answer my cold email? Not having any background about what Indiepocalypse was. Not having Jordan's benefit of 5 other issues, you could say, oh, this guy is not a scam artist.
This is going back a while. My bad memory is now showing.
A year, even.
It's not even that long. But yeah. So I think when I first saw it, I was like, oh, this sounds cool. And what made me go, okay, this probably isn't a scam, was I think someone else in like the Boston Indies like group or something said that like you were a normal person or like said that it was going to be cool, like Indiepocalypse is a real thing and everything.
I'm probably gonna assume that it's gonna be Chris Mayer, who is on our show.
Probably.
He's the person, my closest connection to that Boston scene.
Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Why not? So I DM'd like the other people on the team, and they're like, yeah, sounds cool. So I submitted it.
And now you're in, and then every 3 months or so, you get like $5.
Yeah, woo! Which then goes to 3 other people,
right,
so we each get
like
$1.07. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's me. It's my version is I get negative money.
Oh no.
Because
that's game dev, baby.
Yeah, none of it has caught up yet.
Yeah.
So one of these days it'll catch up, and I will. Hey, while we're talking about catching up, if you got Twitch Prime and you're listening to this show at some point, just go over to indiepocalypse.com/radio and just jam on that Prime button, dude. I got an affiliate. So just give me that affiliate cash. I know you'll forget about it. I always forget about that kind of stuff.
Heck yeah, earn money.
Yeah.
Get that sweet Prime money.
Yes, I'm doing commissioned games now. That stuff costs even more money, and it does bring in more money. But whatever. Anyway, I do this because I think it's good. and I
Yeah.
think
Fantastic.
people should play these games. And like, where else are they going to? Like, it's hard. People need to band together. It's the
Hmm.
only real way to survive. So
Yeah.
as a student developer, as it says here on your title, how does it feel that a lot of things say no students allowed?
um,
Meetup groups, that is. You
it's
just lie
like
to them and say you're not a student?
it's weird. I don't know if I've ever encountered like a thing where it's like, no, you can't be in here because you're a student. Um, like I know they definitely exist,
Yeah,
but
I
I feel
saw
like
one recently, which made me think about that.
I feel like a lot of times I probably do lie because like I'm close to graduating. Like
Yeah,
I'm
close enough.
basically an adult.
Students are adults. Once you're 18, you're basically an adult.
Yeah, and I tend to do games with like professors and stuff. So then it's like, well, I'm not a student. It's
Right. I'm just
exactly
going
like
to
we're
college still.
exactly yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. I think the impressions I think they'll just like ask everyone for jobs constantly, which seems like a weird thing that I don't think people would do really. But
Yeah, I feel like I don't know, like I run the game dev club at my school, so like everyone at least there that I interact with knows not to like just go up to someone and be like, "Hey, I do this real good. You want to hire me?" Like that.
yes. Oh, hey, you work at Electronic Arts? You know who makes really good electronic art? I do.
Yeah,
Here's my resume.
I feel like we've advanced, at least like normal people have advanced
Right.
past that.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like that is like, ill socialization is not the fault of being a student.
Yeah, like there's some really cool student stuff that exists,
Right. Yeah. There's
and
probably plenty
like
of very cool student stuff. I haven't I don't check to see what percentage of work in Indiepocalypse is made by students. So
yeah,
I've had like
like
a 15-year-old submit very good games.
yeah, like if you want to see good student stuff, just check out my portfolio.
Right. Yeah. Just yeah.
Follow
Just
me on
go.
Twitter.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Listen, there's plenty of 40 and 50-year-olds making real horse shit. So and getting millions of dollars to do it. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't look down on student stuff. But anyway, Absolute Unit. Tell me a little bit about Absolute Unit and dogs and how big they are.
Yeah, so this was made for a game jam. I believe it was 48 hours
Yeah.
at the Berkeley School, college, and
That's
the
East Coast Berkeley, right?
East Coast Berkeley, yeah. And the theme of the jam I think was like expansion or something like that. Um, and the one of the composers that ended up being on my team pitched this game. It's like, what if you're a dog but you just get really fat?
Yeah.
And that was the entire concept, and we kind of just all rolled with that. We had like one artist and then two composers slash sound effects, or sound design rather, and we just banged it out in RPG Maker in 2 days. And it was just like the whole premise was, okay, you're a little dog, you want to get an owner but you don't have one, but you notice that every other dog that has an owner is just really fat. So the whole premise of the game is just trying to get chunky so you can find a nice owner and a nice home.
And I will admit, as someone who has like petted a fat animal many times in his life, there's a certain pleasure to it.
Yeah, right. My cat that's sleeping behind me right now is a little chonker, and it's just
Now, I thought about this fairly not too long ago, and Cam, would you say it is safe to say that there is nothing more like I think I like the term fat cat to describe like the wealthy elite, because I think there is nothing more content in its life, in its lot in life, that is, than a fat cat.
definitely
Like
if you could be a fat cat, like that's just living the high life.
right. I am a beast of prey, a beast of not prey. Yes, beast of prey, because birds of prey hunt. Yes, okay,
Mhm.
that line of logic tracks. I am a hunting cat. I am one of the most vicious killers in the animal kingdom, but I don't have to do any of that.
Exactly. Just gotta be cute.
Yeah, I can just lie on my back and just like hang out. We recently got
The
a
life of a
cat
cat. Ooh,
that is a big fan of getting its belly rubbed.
ooh,
Will like
that's
100% roll over and just like want you to get in there, and then we just paw at the
that's
sky.
that's amazing. My cat, like, he does that, but then when you pet him, it's like an attack. It's a
Oh,
trap. You get so no belly rubs.
yeah. Yeah, we have a weird ability of attracting stray cats. They just want to live at this
Oh.
house. But anyway, cats aside, we don't need to talk about. This isn't about cats. This is about video games, I guess. What's Cam top 3 cats in video games?
Oh God, top 3 cats. Oh no. I have to think about video games. Any of the cats in
I'm sorry to burden you with that.
we'll go, like the cats in Calico are pretty nice.
Okay.
Um, the cats in I don't remember what it's Cat Lateral Damage, where you play as a cat.
Okay.
That's a pretty good cat.
Yes.
What was the last one? Oh God. There's this really weird dating sim about cats that's pretty nice. There's just a lot of cats in that game.
Okay. Perfect. 3 cats. Got him quick. Nailed it.
Awesome. Perfect.
Big respect, big disrespect to Big the cat, but I'll allow it and let it slide today.
I'm sorry. I didn't play Sonic growing up.
I mean, I didn't play Sonic Adventure growing up either, so I have no context. Big the cat is really the most I know about Sonic Adventure. Is that he's a big cat and he likes to fish.
Yeah, that's also all I know, really.
I do know about the whale, but that's the only other thing I know about Sonic Adventure. And I know
That's
in
all
that
right.
one on the Xbox, he kisses a human lady. But that's not my Sonic knowledge.
Sonic really be out here.
Yeah.
Did you
No,
see they announced the Sonic 2 movie for 2022?
Oh, Sonic the Hedgehog 2?
Yeah, we're getting a sequel.
Listen, as long as good old Ben Schwartz is out there getting paid, I don't care. I like that guy.
Yeah.
I think he's funny. I'll never see Sonic the Hedgehog, but
Yeah.
that was my same feelings with like Rogue One made me realize that I don't care about Star Wars anymore because I'm
I
like,
think
oh,
that's
I grew up with them, like watching them every week as a child, and then I'm like, oh, as a concept, I no longer care about Star Wars. They can just make bad Star Wars. But I was
yeah.
like, it's so nice that they could just make but at the same time, I want it to be successful because I'm like, oh, if they could just, then they can be like, oh, yes, we did fill a Star Wars full of just not white guys, and it was successful. So we can do that in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very important that, like, it doesn't need to be good. It just needs to be, listen, the gears of capitalism just need to say that everybody can be profitable so that everybody can make money,
Damn. Yeah.
I'm never going to
Capitalism
watch
be like that.
She-Ra, but, like, I'm glad for you or whatever.
Listen, I love She-Ra.
Listen, let everyone get out there and tell their stories. I'm good for it. I think I got burned for a while because I felt like there was too many adults who seemed to only watch children's cartoons, and I was like, I fucking hate kids' cartoons now.
I feel that. I think because I watch a fair amount of like kids cartoons, I guess, and I think it's just because like at least kids cartoons now they like are a bit more than just like stupid. Like at least like with like She-Ra and Steven Universe and stuff, they do cover like some heavier topics that like I wish I had when I was a kid, and I don't know. I think that's what draws people in. Honestly.
Listen, I enjoy a decent amount of those shows, and I am a big fan. I mean, the back half of Adventure Time is just like indie comics, and it's not even pretending to be a kid show anymore. It's like we hired a bunch of indie comics people, and they're just literally just making their comics but not having swears in them. So I just got burned out on like adults whose apparently only frame of reference is other kids' cartoons.
That's fair. That's valid.
And I was like, listen, there are other things,
Yeah. That's the only thing that kind of weirds me out is like it is like a kid's space, so like you still have to like give that space to children.
Yes. Yeah. I get that you're an adult who's thirsty for like queer content, but like fucking TV shows like 6 Feet Under exist, you know?
Yeah, it's like sometimes it's just like you can still like love this and everything. It's
Yeah.
just be mindful that it is for kids.
Yes, right. So don't scream at 13-year-olds and tell them their favorites are problematic.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Anyway,
can't
video
believe-
games.
Yes, I can't. Video games, right? No, this show isn't about video games. I'd be lying if I said it was. I don't play. It's well-torn territory that I don't play video games.
Me neither, honestly.
Yeah, who has the time in the day for those?
Too busy making video games, can't play them.
I wish I had time to make video games.
I barely have time to make video games, and yet just keep
Yeah.
pumping them out.
Did you do Global Game Jam?
I did. I actually ran the Boston, or I co-hosted rather, the Boston Game Jam site.
I believe I knew that.
Yeah. I think Boston Indies tweeted out because we kind of stole their Twitch channel for the weekend.
Okay.
But yeah, I made a game called The Mall, which is just a weird mall that you're lost in. You just explore the mall.
Okay. And
Oh,
I'll have to check it out sometime.
Yeah.
I say.
it's cool.
Like, what kind of how do you explore them all? Is it direct control?
It's just like
Are we
it's just
talking-
like a first person like controller. Like you can just walk around. We have like I think 7 different stores within the mall,
Okay.
and like all the stores are like their own little cubes and they move around, so you have to like catch them
Okay.
to enter a store, and each store has its own little quirk.
Cam,
it's-
when was the last
it's
time
really
you
weird.
visited a mall?
Oh gosh, it's been too long. Like
Have you
I
been
don't
to
think
a
I've been
mall post quarantine?
no, I don't
Okay.
think so. I think the last time I was in a mall was like probably over a year ago at this point. Cause
Yeah. Well, I mean, everything's over here at this point.
yeah, honestly.
Well,
But
there was like the first and last show Indiepocalypse did was PAX East, and everyone was talking about things are getting canceled, aren't they? And then
Yeah.
everybody locked down, and that was
I
the end of February, I think.
yeah, every day I am like more and more like thankful that like PAX East wasn't like a super spreader, or at least like didn't like I didn't see anywhere saying that it was like a super spreader, because like
Right.
I went to KatsuCon like 2 weeks before PAX East, which is
Yeah.
in DC, which is like a huge anime convention for those who don't know. And then I showcased a VR game, not my VR game. It was the Space Team VR by Cooperative Entertainment Innovations. I showed off their VR game, and also helped at the I Need Diverse Games table. So like I was around so many people,
Right.
and every day I am just so thankful that nothing bad happened.
No, yeah, I was at PAX East. Like literally, I was beating the street. I was walking around the convention floor. I was a
Mhm.
man without a booth, kind of like selling my stuff and meeting everybody. At the
Yeah,
end of the
it's-
last day, I went up basically talked to most indie developers, so theoretically, who are in contact with a lot of people. So I was like just fishing for COVID at that point.
Yeah, I am so thankful that like at least I didn't hear about any
Yeah.
big people. There are a lot of people getting sick from like, oh my god.
Right.
Which is weird because at the same time PAX was going on, there was like some doctors convention
Right.
that was a super spreader.
Yeah,
So
that was
I don't
like-
know.
Luckily, those doctors weren't gamers.
Yeah, like somehow the gamers were more hygienic. I guess.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know about that one, but
let's just say the gamers didn't bring COVID to PAX.
yeah. Oh god.
Yeah, listen, I look forward to the day when events open back up and I am sorely missing them, and I feel like I also had another point somewhere along there, but I lost it. And it doesn't matter at this point, really, because everything is ephemeral in life and nothing is truly essential.
Yeah. I'm so excited for when I can go back to cons.
Yeah. I was planning to go to so many this year. I was like
Mhm.
getting my docket ready. I was like, I'm gonna travel.
Yeah.
Because a big thing that stopped me before is like unless you have a game that you're selling, and I don't think most indie developers go with games they're selling. Game development at least is a weird thing where it's like you go there to show off things. You're doing a preview cycle, not sell things.
Yeah.
So like I could theoretically make a lot of money back, hopefully, or I could turn even a profit with this stuff. Was my hope.
Yeah, that's always the hope.
And then pass all those fun savings on to the developers after the fact.
Yeah.
That's my hope. That's my dream. My idea was that like, no one's gonna get rich off Indiepocalypse. It'll be like listening to like actors on podcasts talk about how they were in like a commercial for Microsoft in a bit part, and they get like a 10 cent check in the mail every so often. It's like, oh yeah, I was in that Bing ad. Thank you for this $10.50 Microsoft or whatever production studio that's handling that commercial. And like game developers should have something like that. Mostly because I've seen too many people who are like, I would see them like work on the games for like 5 years and see like them at conventions and putting a lot of time and money and effort into them. And then I'll look them up on Steam charts and they have like 0 concurrent players.
Yeah.
All-time peaks of 4.
That's the one thing about like indie development. There's so many good games just always, but like people just either don't play them or can't find them.
Right. It's almost as if they're like, this is an apocalyptic scenario. Involving indie video. No, the hardline stance of Indiepocalypse is the Indiepocalypse is bullshit and it's made up. And of course, like an infinite number of artists can't all get super massive like fucking Jonathan Blow money or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's because that's never going to be the case, but that's the case in all art forms.
Yeah.
Not everyone becomes super mega pop stars.
Yeah, that's like something that like, I don't know, maybe it was like younger me, like hubris, thinking like one day my games they'll make it big and I'll make money. And now I'm just like, you know what? I'm content making the game that 3 people will play ever.
Right, and then hopefully someone will come along and they'll make a market for it, and maybe you can pay half a month's rent with those games.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's all very tricky, and I think I'm glad that you're helping to carve out this space that like maybe other developers can at some point make little games and make the cash off of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think indie games, to get sentimental for a moment, I think it's too separate, and I think it's important that the people like stick together and create more communities, cohesive communities.
Yeah.
And not just with people who are successful because you want to gleam off some of their shine.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I really like the like Boston community we have here, and I'm so sad I'm gonna be leaving or moving soon. Like just the like just being able to talk to other devs, whether they're like quote successful or not.
Yeah.
And like just be like, look at this game, and they're like, that's great. Look at this game. I'm like, that's amazing.
Do you have a local scene we're going to that you know of?
I'm going to Pittsburgh for for like 6 months. I don't know what the scene's like there, but
I believe never mind. I might be thinking of Philadelphia. Never mind.
Maybe. I also mix up those 2 cities.
One of those P cities has a pretty good scene. I forget which one it is though.
Yeah. Well, I'll figure it out when I get there, I guess.
It's talking about figuring out while we'll get there. Okay, we're approaching the end of our half hour.
Ooh, let's go quick.
It goes fast. So as we leave this audience for a moment, and we got to leave them not with parting words, but fuck, I lost it. I had nothing. I was walking down that path, and then much like a cartoon coyote, I looked beneath me, and there was no longer a ground. If you thought, if there was one city that you're like, I want to move to this city, and it could have its own game development scene, what city would you want to move to?
Oh damn. I feel like I don't know if I don't know if I city because I don't know many cities. Like I want to move to like either New Zealand or Vermont, so that way I can be like a game developer, but also own goats. Like that's the goal.
Okay, well, listen. Have you ever considered joining Sunday Month? I hear they let a lot of people in. I don't know about New Zealand though. You're on your own there. I don't. There's been at least one New Zealander in the zine, but I don't know if he constitutes a scene.
Yeah, I don't know.
But anyway, we'll talk to you later, Campbell. We're gonna go on break, and
Cool,
then we'll
cool.
be
See
back.
ya.
See ya. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Hello and welcome back to Indiepocalypse Radio. I had the wrong thing queued up there, but now we're correct. I got a little ahead of myself with the studio mode, but now we're looking good. I'm here with the last final guest, Paige. Paige, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I am doing all right. I am third season. I am third guest in, so I am flying high on an hour's worth of nonstop talking. You may know Paige, also from Mop Boy in issue 6.
Yep.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Good.
Yeah. So that's correct.
That is correct. Yes. So Paige, it says here you are not an animator on Mop Boy.
No, I have not. Yeah, I do basically everything else,
Okay.
but not quite at the caliber to just throw it in my title like Jordan does.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do a lot of the sound design stuff and the music stuff and programming and story writing stuff. We all kind of split it pretty evenly.
Yeah, and you're right. I would not have enough room on your marquee to fit all of that in there. So, not animated, I would say, covers the rest of that.
Yeah.
So, Paige, a burning question that the people have got to know. If you were a fast food restaurant, not even a restaurant, the whole chain, which one would you be?
Oh man, I intentionally didn't let myself prepare for this
Perfect.
question
Yes.
because I didn't think it would be fair. I feel like I aspire to be a cookout. And I'm gonna say cookout just for the sake of positivity.
Okay.
I feel like it's just a very just there for you kind of establishment, and they've got like infinite flavors of milkshakes.
Now, I have to
And
ask,
it's just,
Paige, what is a cookout?
ooh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know what a cookout was until I moved to Atlanta, so I guess maybe it is just an Atlanta thing.
Maybe.
But they basically just give you food for almost free, and there's like 80 million things you can put into a single milkshake, and they let you add just whatever you can stuff in there. They'll let you do.
Okay.
And they have really good fried cheese,
So is it like
and they're open like always.
it's like
Basically,
a buffet?
I've never been to. No, it's the fast food, like
Okay.
just your standard drive through it, place an order.
Okay. Now, when you say I can put everything in my milkshake. What are some of these? Let's say I'm going off the deep end. I am the aforementioned 3 a.m. teen, and I'm trying to get adventurous with my milkshake.
Well, I've never been told no, and I've gotten some cheesecake in there, walnuts, pecans,
Okay.
Reese's. Yeah, no, you can just throw it all in there. They don't
So,
even seem like thrown off by it or anything.
so I mean, I feel like you need a certain fortitude if you work at a all-night establishment of any kind. You have to
Yeah, no,
have
for
seen
sure,
it
yeah.
all. So it's
Yeah,
basically
no,
like
it's true.
an ice cream.
No, it's not.
No,
It's
but
not an
like
ice cream
like an
place.
ice cream. Like if we're to imagine like an ice cream toppings, but instead of putting those onto ice cream, I just put them and grind them into a milkshake.
Pretty much. They give it to you in the same cup that you'd get like a soda or something.
Okay.
And they just kind of, I'm sure they have some kind of machine that swirls it all.
Yeah. I can't imagine do it by hand. That'd take forever.
No, yeah, that'd be a different level of food preparation.
So, where did you come from originally? If you wish to say, if not from Atlanta.
I do like to keep it a secret. I'm not proud. I'm from South Florida,
Okay, so
Fort Lauderdale-ish area.
what's a Florida specialty? Do you know? Or actually,
Um,
I guess to go back, a question I had many episodes back: is there something that you got that was like a normal thing you got in Florida that you didn't realize was like a local dish until you had left Florida?
Yeah, there's a place called Pollo Tropical that I love. It's another fast food place. And they are basically like Chipotle but less refined. I guess I don't know if you can call Chipotle refined, but
Well,
Pollo
they
Tropical
put on
is
airs
even
of refinement
less.
at least.
So. Yeah, they try. But Pollo Tropical is like you can just pull up and they've got different chicken bowls with rice and stuff, and like it's always kind of struck me as the healthy fast food drive-through option.
Okay.
And I was bummed to not see it around here, but I mean, Cookout's like a pretty good substitute.
I wish so. Now I am what is milkshake aside? What would you say is like the Cookout like staple dish?
Man, they definitely have one, and I wouldn't know it. I I don't want to guess and be wrong.
Well, what is something I could
But
order at a Cookout?
you could get corn dogs, you could
Okay.
get quesadillas, you could get burgers. They've got like pulled pork sandwiches.
Okay. All right. So this is like an everything kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is turning into a Cookout commercial, and I really didn't mean for it to.
What's
But that's
Cookout's
okay.
slogan? Do you know Cookout's slogan off the top of your head?
No,
What's
no.
their
Wait, I
theme
kind of want to
jingle?
look it up though.
Um,
I've never seen a Cookout commercial either.
Neither have I. When I was in Atlanta, no one even told me about Cookout because I specifically asked people, I'm like, what should I get for food here? I feel like somebody told me to go to a place where you just drink turkey gravy or something. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, dude. That's crazy.
What? I don't know what he's talking about either. Have you been told to go to the Varsity?
Maybe granted I was there for MomoCon and I was there for like 3 days, and I asked this on like the second to last day, and then I just went to the Waffle House. That was between my
Yeah, no,
hotel
that's
and the
fair.
convention center.
The Varsity is like the very famous Atlanta cheap burger joint.
Okay. Now, see, I wish I could travel and do these things again. When I was
Yeah,
in
me too.
Columbus, there was like a, some disused warehouse or factory or something that turned into a open air mall that had very good food in it. I got like a ramen bowl and donuts.
Pretty. I've been to Columbus before, but I had to hang around the like college campus area.
Yeah. I mean, even college campus areas are nice because, like, inside of MIT, they have that is the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. They have like a good burrito place. But alas, no more. I live in a town of no food.
Dang, wait, where do you work out of?
I work out of Massachusetts in an undisclosed smaller town.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. It's like if I lived in Boston, I live in Boston. I don't care. There's so many people in Boston who give a shit. But it feels weird when you live in like a less populous area to say where you live.
Yeah, I feel like someone could just bump into you if they happen to fly over there.
Right. It feels like it's a lot easier to find someone. When I send out physical copies, I got a PO box, but I'm like, even a PO box feels like it narrows down my address too specifically. So I just write Indiepocalypse for the return address and hope it just makes it there and never needs to get returned to me. And so far, no problems as far as I know.
That's good.
So adjacent to questions I asked earlier, when you were told about Indiepocalypse, what made you go, yeah, this thing does sound kind of interesting and not a scam?
Well, I remember Jordan was like the main driver of that, but I was definitely looking over his shoulder for some of it, and I thought the zines looked super cool, and also I might be like way off and completely wrong, and if so, you don't have to answer this, but did you have like an itch page with games that you've made?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I remember looking at that and being like, I really like this vibe.
Okay, some of those games I've called a lot of them off of there because Indiepocalypse has just been getting there's so many issues now, and I'm like now that people are looking at this, I feel bad about some of these games.
Oh, you shouldn't.
But I left off the ones I feel least bad about.
I guess that's fair. Was there one where someone fights with like a mop or something? Or am I making that up too?
No. Okay, yes. So there was one, and so the artist Zach Gorman made something a long time ago, like a fake arcade cabinet for something called Mermaid Manor, and I half made a game about that idea, and then I kind of occasionally think of going back to it and making it again, like properly. So yeah, there was a mop.
Seeing it, and I was like,
Oh.
yeah, I was like, someone already made our game, so we can't make mop.
No, I was wrong. There was another
Oh,
mop
no.
game I also made. Shit, I have mops on the brain. No, there was.
Mop
I guess
games
they
are
were
a
both
time.
for a game by its cover. If you know that game jam, which is
I don't think so.
so there's a thing that happened in Japan primarily for a period of time. Now it's very much more international, or Westerners really fucking knuckle their way in there, depending on your perspective of things. But it was like a art exhibit of making fake Famicom cases, like cover art. So the game jam was about making covers based on, or making games based on those covers.
Okay, that's a cool concept.
So I was also going to make like that was the most recent thing I made while I was at Kineticon. Like I coded a lot of it while I was there, and nobody was going to the booth, and I got bored. And I was making another game. I forget what it was called. Something about mop. It was based on one of those cases, basically. So actually, there was another mop game I made where you like would soak your mop in water and then like hit a broken light bulb, and then you would get electrical mop, I guess.
Oh yeah.
But it was
yeah.
like very sloppy. It was a weird combination of wow, I've gotten much better at making games. I've made this very quickly. A lot of this code worked first time, but also, oh wow, this is not good.
I mean, I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's definitely like a lot better for like the time period, like in terms of like the art and like the game itself. It's a lot better than I could make typically in like the allotted time, but yeah. Anyway, I'm looking at it now. I'm like, oh, I wish I could make games. How do you find time to make games?
It is hard. We devoted the global game jam to just working on Mop Boy. It was a Mop Boy jam.
Perfect. Yeah, I have skipped on like doing all game jams since then. Like I used to do a lot of those. Have you ever done like global game jam otherwise, or like even like other game jams, like really dedicate yourself to that time period?
We've done the global game jam for the past 3 years, if you include our Mop jam this year. The first year we made Mop Boy, and that's how it started. The second year we made a game called Taylor's Tech Solutions, and yeah, that third year was just us mopping.
Wow. So,
but yeah, we've kind of turned it into like a little tradition where we
Yeah.
always try to do the global jam in some capacity.
Okay, and always as like the Mop Boy team.
Yeah, yeah, the three of us.
All right, yeah, because have you ever done any like game jams where just like, hey, let's get a bunch of strangers together and figure this out?
We've definitely like thought about just kind of grabbing random people and making a game, but I feel like the way that we act at game jams is just too absurd.
Okay.
And the way that we act when it's 3 a.m., we kind of feel like we should just keep it between us. We have this part of our game jam tradition is we have this thing we call mop water.
Yeah.
Which is just a mixture of Monster Energy drink and this like pre-workout powder stuff that you add to liquid, and that's kind of just what drives us for 72 hours or however long it is.
Yeah, I don't really drink too much energy drinks, or that is to say, I drink none of them, except at events when they're giving them out for free. So At one point, I think the most I've ever drank of Red Bulls was at like when I was at OhioCon and Red Bull was sponsoring it, and there was a thing there, and I just like was chugging Red Bulls because it was the drink that was available. Same with like a
Yes,
weird.
events where they give it out. Go ahead.
No. Indiepocalypse rule number 1: if Andrew is talking, just talk through him and he'll shut up.
No, I was just gonna say that events where they're giving it out for free are dangerous.
Yeah.
Like I used to be very into the whole Monster Energy drink stuff when I was in college, and then I stopped, and I was proud. And then I went to DreamHack to show off Mop Boy, and they had like Monster Energy coolers where you could just walk up and grab however many. Like they just wanted you to take them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will say, as
On
someone who
tap.
used to drink 2 liters of soda after school, like maybe multiple times a week, and who just stopped, and when you go back to them, it tastes like dying. It tastes like you're pouring.
I still like the taste.
I
taste
like,
it and I'm like, this is what I've been wanting.
You know, I think I can get. I think I push past it if I try, but like, I'm like, I'm pouring syrup into my mouth.
You would hate mop water because the pre-workout stuff makes it taste like super, super fruity on top of the Monster flavor.
I think at 3
My water
a.m.
bottle still smells like it.
I think at 3 a.m. I could get into it. That's because I was at
Yeah.
Indiecade and it was very hot out, and I was probably a little sick, and I drank like 4 to 6 to 8 collagen waters because they were giving them out for free.
Dang.
And I would not recommend collagen water. It feels like it's some kind of scam, I think. And
What is it? I feel like it's probably not what it sounds like to me that it is.
I think it's water with collagen in it, like flakes of collagen.
What is collagen?
It's like
Okay, so it is
skin.
like something solid?
Yeah, it's like skin stuff. Let me
Skin?
point and search. What is collagen? I feel like in my brain it's like skin stuff. Connective
Like from
tissues to the skin or
what kind of
cartilage.
skin stuff? Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Not like pieces of skin, but
No.
like things that your skin has
Yeah.
/ uses.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds healthy.
You know,
Get
in that
some
hot
good
LA sun,
nails.
it was everything I needed. Yeah, those people just keep giving me more of them, and I had to talk the entire time. And so what is showing DreamHack like?
So DreamHack was the one where we were next to State Farm.
Okay, was that in Austin?
No, it was in Atlanta.
Okay, there's like a billion DreamHacks, aren't there?
Yeah, there are. DreamHack was an experience. I had a lot of fun. That was the one with the Monster Energy drink coolers. Also, maybe that's how I brought it up.
Yes.
But there was like a ton of just kind of esports stuff going on everywhere, and like the caliber of indie games that were there were like insane. Like people with crazy budgets or like people with just a ton of experience that had been working on a game for a while.
Now, Paige,
Just had a
you
really
don't
polished
have a huge
game.
budget. Paige,
God,
what's
no.
the Mop Boy budget we're talking? We're talking 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures.
Oh man, it's a college budget, I'd say.
Oh, okay. So
Maybe it's a little bit better now,
So you owe people
but it's
money.
not. Oh man, thankfully not. But I mean, we have application fees that we can cover.
Yeah.
But we're not paying out DreamHack to let us give out mops to hit people with.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be a big hit at DreamHack. I feel like you get the right crowd going. You turn into an esport in of itself.
I think you weren't allowed to bring stickers to DreamHack because they were worried about like kids sticking them on the floor and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But I think we did it anyway, if I remember correctly.
Well, as long as you don't say "Mop Boy, this is how to find us" on your sticker, and they don't know what the sticker is.
Oh, it was pretty Mop Boy-y.
Oh,
But
okay.
also, and this speaks to our budget, our stickers look like business cards. We call them business stickers
Okay.
because they're just like the cheapest kind of. Well, we have some better ones now, but like at the time we just had these very businessy, had our logo on them.
It costs money to make cut stickers in the shapes that aren't squares.
Yeah, it does. But sometimes they have like deals where you can get like some really cool ones, but you can only get like 20 of them
Oh,
and you pay
okay.
like $30. And
I
we're
like
like,
I
we can pay
say,
$20. Let's get cool stickers.
like I say, you can get really cool ones, but you can only order them in like 20,000.
No.
But what's the light? What was the weird question? What was the lighting situation like at DreamHack?
The lighting
Like,
situation?
how bright were the lights? Normal brightness?
Uh, I feel like they were normal brightness.
Okay.
There was a time when they were kind of closing up the booths for the day,
Yeah.
and we kind of stuck around longer than usual, and they started setting up for a rave, and I guess they were testing those lights,
Okay.
and those were pretty crazy, just kind of blasting everywhere, and the music was like the loudest thing I've ever heard. I feel like they were trying to usher out the last of the
Yeah.
indie showcase people.
Because I've definitely been to. I've done like actual game events that are like weirdly dark and like dimly lit.
You know what? Maybe I mean, there's no windows in the in
Yeah.
the space that we were in.
And
Like it was
something
just
about
kind of like a warehouse
yeah.
situation.
And something about DreamHack. For some reason, I feel like the lights are off. Maybe that's just my weird imagination of DreamHack. But anyway,
It
that's
really affects the way time. Oh, sorry.
yeah. Oh, it's like a casino.
Yeah, yeah. You walk in there and you walk out, and it's just dark suddenly.
And you're like, well, I guess I blew my entire day. Yeah, because especially if you're like with a team, you can just someone else can go out for lunch. If you're not the person who goes out for lunch,
Yeah.
you have no frame of reference for what time means or what the day is.
Yeah. You're just in the dark about whether you're not in the dark.
But that's well and good. Paige, do you play video games?
No, I hate video games.
Oh, thank
I'm just
God.
kidding.
Shit, no, I wasn't
I
prepared
don't.
for this.
No, Jordan, I mean, definitely plays infinite amounts of video games. Don't
Yeah.
let him make you feel bad about that. But
No.
I feel like my taste is like the opposite of Jordan's. Like I'm very into like Overwatch, and I've been into first person shooters kind of throughout my life, and also sports games like Madden. And my favorite one is super old, and it's called NFL Street, and
Okay.
it's just like this crazy kind of like pickup game, kind of grungy style where you can just pizza toss people and
Yeah, I
like
remember
stiff arm them and they go flying.
the street brand of EA. Was it EA that made those games? I don't remember.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I think I had a friend who had Ballers. No, wait, that was Midway. Same aesthetic, same feeling. But it was a basketball game. All right.
I feel like they had an NBA Street,
They
maybe.
did have an NBA Streets. I think that's why I was thinking that. But I was like, oh no, they obviously entered. They named it NBA Street. Why would they make a different name? I don't know how brands work. But, oops, oh, I got ahead of myself. Sorry, I got sidetracked. I had to set up my next scene. I remembered I needed to do something, and then I remembered it, and I did it. All right. So, video games. Don't need them. Don't care for them. Don't need.
Mm-mm.
Put them in the back
Get
burner.
them out of here. Yeah.
What is your feeling about traveling very late in the night to get food? Pro, con, yes, no?
I'm very pro
Okay.
traveling in the night to get food for sure, yeah. I feel
I
like
guess.
I'm getting old though. Like younger me, and by younger I mean like 19-year-old. I'm 24, so like not
Oh,
talking
so
forever
young.
ago.
I
But
mean, I'm older, but like not notice. I have crested up above. I can't let people. They need to think I'm young, so that the millennials will join my zine and think I'm cool still.
damn, I definitely shouldn't say that I feel like 30 isn't old anymore.
Yeah. No, listen. If someone of secret indeterminate age, let me tell you, 30 is not that old, and you can still respect and have Zoomer energy at 30,
Mhm.
and respect that kind of
Yeah.
lifestyle. And listen, the real secret is all those old people you knew growing up. It wasn't that they got old. It's that they were just always probably pretty boring.
Yeah, no, I think you're super right. I feel like that's definitely true.
So as long as you don't let yourself become
Like
boring.
yeah, no, I don't plan to.
Yeah.
I feel like I know plenty of pretty cool oldies.
Yeah. Paige, are you cool? Are you safe to say you're cool here on the this is on the record, by the way, officially.
I feel like it'll immediately shatter my cool cred if I'd say that I think that I'm cool.
Well,
But I don't know what it would do if I said that I wasn't.
right. Well, it's just but the best thing to do is, as you did, and just dodge the question.
I feel like the best thing to do would be to be like, I don't care if I'm cool.
Oh shit!
It's like that's the coolest answer.
That is, in fact, the coolest answer. But in knowing it and thinking about it too much and deconstructing it, I'm sorry to bring it to you, Paige. You're not that cool anymore. But
oh man, that's okay.
yeah.
I didn't care to begin with.
Oh shit! Fuck. Getting owned left and right. Anyway, but what was? Do you remember the last? Speaking of being cool, have you gone to? Did you? Are you a regular concert goer, or were you? Pre-quarantine.
Man, it's hard to remember anything from pre-quarantine. I think I was. I feel like I bopped around, went to a concert, did a jump up and down.
Okay, because the question that is, which is relation to being cool, is do you remember the last show you went to? Or
I think I was trying to remember the other day. Like I couldn't remember the last concert I went to. I think it was a Dan Deacon show.
Okay, I don't know who that is, so I'm gonna say it's cool.
I thought it was cool. He does like a lot of electronic music. He doesn't like sing much or anything, but he's really into crowd work and stuff. And there was like a big what's it called when they put like their hands like after kids soccer games when the moms do like the hand to hand like tunnel. They had a huge tunnel. He like instructed the crowd to turn into a tunnel basically that went outside the venue and like wrapped around and then back into the venue through like a different. Yeah, it was cool, and we just like ran through it because everyone got to go through it and then join it.
Yeah,
it was a pretty wild experience.
I was lying. I do know who Dan Deacon is. I remember these album covers. Okay.
Oh, okay, cool.
Got saved myself there. I probably I don't know any of the songs off the top of my head, but I might listen to them. I remember this little hand with his tongue out. I listen to a lot of music.
You'll definitely remember if you listen to something.
Yeah. I listen to a lot of music, and then it means that unless you talk about it sometimes or like repeatedly listen to an album over and over again, it kind of like escapes your brain.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
the
fun of this show is it lets me like to make playlists. I have to go back and listen to all this music I've downloaded over the years. Half the time I was like, I don't even know what this band is. What is Kodak Cameo? What is Casino Wave? It's very cool, as it turns out.
I definitely couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's especially hard to like know what songs are if you listen to things in albums.
Yes.
Like you'll be like, I know this song, but it's just in the middle of like a 40-minute chunk of music that I listen to sometimes.
So this was a subject of debate on a previous show. Paige, do you listen to albums? Are you an album listener, or do you do like shuffle and playlist, or do you listen to an album front to back?
I kind of dabble in both, I think. I feel like I had a huge album phase, and there are currently some albums that I like to listen to.
Yeah.
But I'm also getting into like the Discover Weekly on Spotify, so I've been kind of building like a liked songs playlist that I've been shuffling around. So kind of here, kind of there.
Yeah. What is one of your go-tos? At the risk of sounding
currently
cool or uncool.
My favorite album right now is called Personalia, and it's by Locate S1.
Okay.
Yeah, it came out during quarantine, so it's just kind of got the quarantine nostalgia, if that makes sense. It was like early quarantine.
Right. So it's like, well, I'm locked up. I need something to listen to. I have a bunch of free time yet. You don't quite know how to spend your free time yet?
Yeah, pretty much. I've been working on my free time, though. Like, I've started skateboarding, which is super new for me, and it feels like an appropriate quarantine hobby to pick up.
Like, where do you skateboard? Just outside? I presume.
Yeah, just outside. There's like a parking garage near where I live, and I haven't been kicked out yet.
Yeah. Now, Paige, do you consider skateboarding to be a crime?
No.
Okay.
I feel like I don't, maybe technically, in like being in the street, I think is a crime. It can be a crime. I'm sure a cop can be like, you're in the street and I don't like you.
Well,
And
yeah.
you're skateboarding and I don't like you.
Would you put a sticker proclaiming that it was not a crime on the bottom of your skateboard?
Is this like a common skateboard sticker?
It's somewhere in my mind, skateboarding is not a crime. It's just like emblazoned across my brain as like a motto of skateboarding.
Maybe I haven't been in the skateboard scene long enough. But if I had that sticker, I'd probably put it on my laptop. I feel like on the board is a little on the nose.
Yeah. I recently got into laptop stickering. Actually, like right at the beginning of quarantine, I had 0 and then I have a lot now.
I got really into laptop stickering when we started getting Mopboy stickers.
Yeah. I got a bunch of I can't remember what I got. You know what? I bought like a t-shirt, like a Mountain Goats t-shirt, and I got a sticker that came with it. And I was like, what am I going to do with it? What the hell am I going to do with the sticker? I was like, I can put it on my laptop. Then I dug
Yeah, it's a great go-to sticker spot.
Yeah, and then I dug through all my old Kickstarter stuff that I got over the years because they send you stickers for no matter what you get, and decide, hey, which ones do I like and which ones do I not like.
I do feel like the laptop sticker is a big commitment, though.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta really think, like, does this represent me?
Right.
Who's gonna see my laptop? Although I guess quarantine, you're not really sitting in coffee shops or anything.
Yeah. What is the sticker covering your logo? Covering the branding on your laptop?
Where's my...
Is Mopboy front and center, or is it somebody else?
Oh, I think it's a poly vinyl sticker.
Okay.
Actually, wait, no. I think my logo is uncovered. I don't know if I just subconsciously made that stylistic choice.
No,
I just never thought to cover it, I guess.
I think it is.
But now there's going to be a lot of thought going into that.
Yeah, I think it is like it could be an important stylistic choice of whether or not you cover your laptop logo and like, what it says about like what you put there. Do you do something obnoxious and have it interact with the Apple in some way?
Mine's a Dell, so I feel like I should probably maybe cover it. People like to dunk on Dell, I feel like.
Yeah, I have like I can't remember. I have like a Sony, or an HP, or I don't know, some Windows brand as well. I forget what it is. But no, well, who's got like listen, you're working on a student budget, which is probably like 4 to 5 figures. That you don't have time, you don't have money for Apple computers. Also,
no, and I feel like the non-Apple ones are better for like gaming and stuff.
Yes, yeah. Like what would they port to? Like because you need like an Apple. Do you work in Unity? I'm just gonna take a guess. Unity.
Yeah.
Do you need like an Apple OS to port to Apple with Unity?
Actually,
I don't know how to answer that question.
I think I did try to download Unity onto an Apple before, and it was a big no.
Oh, okay.
So I feel like there's probably something you got to do.
Yeah, and I am.
Maybe.
Listen, I'm getting to the hard technical questions that I am not equipped to ask nor answer. Let's avoid technical questions.
Yeah, same.
What? Sorry about that.
Oh no, you're good. I don't know anything about porting and Apple, whatever.
Computers, ray tracing, math that makes video games go fast. Paige, important question. If it's 3 a.m., you're jamming away at Mopboy, do you think a computer fan is suitable for heating up a Lunchable pizza if you overclock it strong enough? Do you think your laptop could handle it?
I think it could for my preferences because I'm like very into cold food.
Okay, so you're accepting
So
that
like
it's not
any amount of heating will be plenty for me.
okay. This happened during a global game jam that the only overnight one that I attended. In the middle of the night, someone was like, "What if I overclocked my computer? Could I heat up this Lunchable?" He could not.
I was gonna say this sounds kind of like a coming from experience,
Yeah,
oddly specific question.
it's. I thought I was thinking of it earlier because I felt like that it had like big mop water energy.
It
And
does, yeah, that's fair.
and that made me think of that experience of that bizarre 12-person global game jam group that accomplished nothing. And
I feel like it's possible to have too many people
you
on
know,
a game jam team.
100%. I was a producer that weekend, and nothing got produced. Also,
Producer. Yeah, what is producer? What is that role in a game jam?
well, I learned that what a producer was that night. It's you organize everything and make sure people stay communicating and figure out what your pipeline is, and
It sounds
decide,
important.
hey, you know what? We can't finish this. What do you have on your Plex server? Let's hook it up to the projector in this library. It was a mess. I don't recommend massive teams. Nothing got done. And then I the game idea, I ended up making it myself in Game Maker like in 5 minutes or like less time, because I don't know your opinions on this, but they were using, for some reason, for like puzzles, they were using Unity's built-in physics, and I am not a fan generally of built-in physics because I think they're sloppy and imprecise, or at least how people use them for the most part. They feel like clumsy if they're not used well enough.
Yeah, and I feel like puzzle games kind of need to be precise. I mean, I guess it depends on what kind of puzzle, but
Yeah. The idea was, and now I think of it, was not unlike. Oh no, it's not called Trapped. What's the real name for that game that was called Trapped that one time? The game about you make traps and trap people in them.
I don't think I know what you're talking about.
Deception. Nope. I forget it. Anyway, it's lost to me now. The idea was you would get hit by like a hammer and move you. You would take trap hits in a dungeon to solve puzzles, and that seemed like it was a mess with physics. But that's beside the point. Beside all of these points, we don't need to talk about weird global game jam experience that I had. Let's talk for a brief minute. I didn't talk about it earlier because we already talked about Mop Boy, but Paige, we never talked about Mop Boy, really. Tell me
Oh
a little
man,
bit,
you're right.
in your words, about Mop Boy.
Um, yeah, so it's started at a game jam. It's a 2D platformer. It's about a family that owns a pizzeria, and the one of the kids was just kind of passed on the mop from the oldest sibling down to the middle sibling, and you play as that sibling. That's Mop Boy, and you're in charge of keeping the restaurant clean. But meanwhile, there's this bitter health inspector that's got beef with the family that pops in, and he's determined to shut the place down. And there's grease monsters running around everywhere.
See, now I'm getting way more context. Jordan didn't mention that, one, it was a pizzeria, or that there was the prior established beef, or that he was bitter. See, this is why you need multiple team members on one show. You got to get the whole
Yeah, I feel like
story.
you get a different premise based on who you ask.
Yeah, know that I know that Mop Boy was a middle child, which I think can mean a lot. Because I don't
It's
know.
definitely, there's some, it
Yeah.
influences the dynamic.
Yeah.
Or I guess speaks to the dynamic within the fam.
Right. I'm trying to think. I don't know if I even know any middle children.
Whoa. Jordan's a middle child.
Oh, he didn't tell me that either. All this context he's leaving out.
Yeah, come on, Jordan. These
Don't-
are important details.
Right. When you come on the show, you're supposed to tell me your name, what you do, and and like the number of siblings you have and where you sit within them, age-wise.
Exactly.
These people need to get their acts together when they come on my show. This is a professional outlet that we record here once a week. And, try to have a good time. But whatever. Anyway, I need to stop. The annoying thing about becoming a podcast or a radio host, I don't know, technically this is a podcast, but I like to think of it as a radio show more, is becoming hyper aware of your own verbal tics and how to avoid them and stop using them.
No, I feel like I'm running into the same sort of hyper awareness.
Yes.
Although
Yeah,
I feel like you're doing this way more than me, so I can't even imagine.
I noticed that I go, anyway, whatever, anyway.
It's a natural transition,
Yes.
I think. I didn't think it was out of place.
Perfect. Now, Paige, if you had to give me an unnatural transition to the break, what would it be?
First thing that popped into my head was a hand fart.
All right. And with that, we will see you in like 2.5 minutes. And hey, buckle in, folks. You're in for a fun ride.
That was like a worse.
Oh, wait, what's that? Welcome back to Indiepocalypse Radio. I'm just cutting some people off real quick. Hello, we're back. Everyone's here. Hey, everyone. How y'all doing?
Hi, doing great.
Hey.
Perfect.
Doing good.
That was like that. For the people who were here for the live show, they got my very first threatening song that I've played so far, which is, if you're to explain it, I want to give context to it, to Melt Banana's Untitled. It is the final track of the album's Speak Squeak Creek, and it is all prior 24 songs played at once.
What?
Also, Melt Banana plays songs that are just like super fast, super loud, like minute and a half songs.
So they're quick, but they gun you down.
Yeah, and the lead vocalist, she just kind of like screams and yells. They're like a Japanese like guitar drum duo or something. I don't know what instruments they both. I think it's guitar and drums, and they just make a lot of noise, and I like them a lot.
Oh, okay.
This radio show is partially just so I can make people listen to music I like.
I will say, if I had a radio show, that's probably, I'd just play my favorite. Like I'd have interviews for like 2 minutes, and then 30 minutes of my music, and then like 2 more minutes to say bye-bye.
It's very indulgent, and I respect it, and I am tempted sometimes. My first preamble was like 18 minutes long, and now they're about half an hour long. Because I just like, well, I can so easily fit a half hour worth of music up front, and it gives me a place to play, like, for instance, a 15-minute long track in the intro to this one.
Mm-hmm.
I like doing that. But anyway, we've got everyone here. Did anyone have any questions for anyone else? Then when they're like, oh, that person was talking about something interesting, and I wanted to ask them a question, but I didn't want to interrupt.
Ah, this is where
I did want to point out that there actually is a mop dance / song that exists, probably on TikTok, that we didn't make, but I think it's pretty cool.
Wow. I did forget about that. There were a lot of things I feel like while we were talking that I forgot about that Paige picked up later, which I appreciate, because, yeah, the fact that I didn't mention pizza, like, okay, I guess.
The fact that you didn't mention you went to DreamHack at all.
Yep. Just an entire convention that we spent multiple days at that I just completely forgot about.
But that's like, as someone who does these conventions alone, it's very easy to forget most of the convention and have them completely blow you by and go, oh yeah. That happened, all of it. I remember 3 people from it. I spoke to far more than 3 people.
I will say, so Absolute Unit, I really didn't know what it was about, but you explaining the premise was just like hilarious. Like the fact that the dog was like, oh, I want to get adopted, and I see all these dogs that are fat and they have owners. Guess I gotta get fat. Like it sounds like dog logic and everything.
One, a very old game at this point, but like very fun one to make because of how absurd it is.
Listen, games, old stuff is. I am the number one defender of old games and old stuff in general. So
Mhm.
we just
I
got
feel like it just exposes the personality of like pretty much I feel like anything that you make is gonna have a bit of your personality, but the old stuff is just so raw
yeah.
and like everything that's in there is probably just purely from round brain.
Yeah.
Well, if you're interested, I
That's
can.
what makes it great.
Might I recommend? Hey, if you're interested in Absolute Unit yourself, might I recommend going over to indiepocalypse.com and buying issue 1 of Indiepocalypse,
Yeah.
featuring
Oh yeah.
Absolute Unit and 9 other great games. Or really, you can just go to their itch page that's linked on Indiepocalypse, the Indiepocalypse itch page. You can just download the game for free. I don't really mind. I think
Support local devs.
yeah, exactly. I think it's important enough just like to get people to play the games. That's why I do those 5 community whatever copies each month, because I think plenty of people are not going to buy them. But maybe if somebody bought, someone didn't buy issue 6, but somebody downloaded and is like, oh, I'm very excited about Mop Boy now. That's good enough.
Yeah.
Though issue 6 I think is the best selling issue.
There's a lot. I've only got like 4 issues of Indiepocalypse, I think, at most. So there's a backlog there. Which, speaking of backlogs, I noticed you seem to have a backlog in every like section of like media. Like you got like a music backlog that you're like, one day I will go through all of these that I've queued up and I'll
Yeah.
just listen to them. And like games. I feel like you probably have one for movies or something.
I do. I mean I have ignoring like digital movies that I could watch. I have like physical like I listen. Okay, let's be honest. Pretentious guy starting. I run an independent video game zine. I enjoy the Criterion Collection. I'm not going to pretend I'm not one of
The
those
truth
guys.
comes out.
So I do have a copy of. I think I can't see it from here, but I got the ones I got from last sale. I believe all I have left. Right, the only movies I have left are Pro LeFaux and Do the Right Thing. I think are the only 2 I haven't watched yet. But yeah, I have a big backlog. 12, 13, 14.
I guess another very important question that I now have since I've been outed is what member of the family are y'all? Like since I'm the middle child.
I'm the oldest.
I'm the youngest.
I'm also
What?
Oh,
like this.
damn.
We got 2 youngest, an oldest in the middle.
And I think 2 oldest,
I-
a youngest, and a middle.
I was gonna say that math doesn't add up. Somebody.
Oh wait, he's the oldest. I guess.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I was just doing quick math to see that turns out I have like 200 albums in my backlog right now.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because that's 4 times 50 is 200. Yes. Well, more than that because technically, I mean, I add like everything. So I go to Bandcamp and I add everything they put on their articles, and they write a lot of articles. And I take like weird side trips into things anyway. Like I got very into just like yesterday. What was it called? Drinking Boys and Girls Club Choir or something to that effect. Drinking Boys and Girls Choir. It's a Korean punk band.
Drinking Boys and Girls Choir.
Yeah. with the album Keep Drinking. Very good. It has a song called "I'm a Fucking McDonald's," and it
What?
delivers. And it 100%. I think it's very important that a song with a good title also deliver, and it delivers the goods.
Excellent. We love that.
Love that. Truly.
But anyway, that's like, yeah, I have big backlogs. And then I go through phases where I don't even like, where I focus on one of them more than the other. Though I read and listen to music at the same time, so it's kind of like double dip in there. But that all aside, what is this? Nothing. Okay, I got distracted by something else.
That's fair.
Nope, that was me.
I just want to kind of talk about the prep that I went into this with, because literally, like, I've got my laptop here,
Yeah.
but on the other screen, I just had the trailer for Mop Boy on loop, so I didn't forget what our game was about.
That's important. But apparently, you did forget a lot of details about Mop Boy.
Yeah, which honestly, some of those were pretty important. Not gonna lie.
I tend to excessive detail, and you kind of do the opposite, so it balances out.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just like, well, there's a guy and he has a mop, and that's our game.
That's not even right. He's a boy. God, Jordan, you gotta get your act together. Where's your PR?
I gotta practice.
What is your PR strategy?
That is Paige. Paige is the PR strategy. I'm just the animator. She is everything except for that.
I feel like our PR strategy right now is post on Twitter sometimes.
Yes. Welcome to my PR strategy. No, actually, I send a lot of emails, but I have an email. I use Gmass, so I just send all of them at once. But I have it, but it imports their first name, so it feels like I'm talking to that person individually, but I'm certainly not.
Wow. More truths unearthed on Indiepocalypse Radio.
Indiepocalypse Radio is all about telling truths. I am not afraid to tell the truth here on Indiepocalypse Radio. I am not afraid to. I've thought about it, like I have no problem if like people are being shitty, to be the person to say like, hey, that thing is being shitty. Stop being so miserable about it. But I have no influence for that sort of thing at the moment. But I don't know. It's complicated. It's all very complicated.
Wow.
Anyway, but that's. Oh no, I was about to say it was beside the point, but I caught myself saying the same thing over and over again, and I'm tired of saying the same things over and over again. So
well, I'm gonna pick up where you left off, because even that is beside the point.
Shit. You're allowed to say it because you haven't said it yet. Every other sentence. Woo. But yeah. So there is a beautiful dream where one day I spend the time to make games for this last segment. But today is not that day. I have no games for this last segment. I don't know when I'll do that. I'm starting to actually schedule people in advance, so maybe it'll be some point soon, because I like the idea of having games on the show. And then one day, this show will just morph further and further from being a talk show about, I mean, it's already not about video games.
Wait, what do you mean about having games at this point in the show? Like,
you know, like games, like if you've listened to podcasts that sometimes play games, like trivia games, or we wouldn't do Would You Rather because we don't do bit stealing on this show.
oh, I see. So like us, like like participating in a game at the end.
Yeah, not like playing a game on Twitch and then being like, although I do also want to do that. I have ideas for shows that I want to do, like offshoot shows, because it's just fun to do and hang out with people. Like I want to do a show where I play through games, like a book club, but for games about, like, I don't know, games I think are less heard of, like non-canonized games.
Yeah.
I also want to just like dig through the Internet Archive and make a show out of it, out of people's old home videos. And I think there's something in there. I like the Internet Archive. I think there's a lot of interesting stuff there.
Well, I feel like it's been cool, like, listening in to everybody's interviews and then, like, clashing together at the end. Like, I think that format's pretty neat.
Yeah, I like doing that. I like this show, and it always like discovering the group dynamic once we get there. You know, discovering what it is, and some people are very like it goes for a while. Last show, like we had like an hour post show even, no records, just us, no rules.
Wow.
But this show, I believe, has the feeling of something winding down. So as we wind down the show, we get to the most important part of the show, or before the most important. Anyone else have any last pressing matters to attend to? Any last words? Shell. Otherwise, hold in peace and all that. All right.
Oh, wait, actually, I got a quick.
Yes.
Oh.
Just kidding.
All I gotta say is I'm a fucking McDonald's. Is that at all related to your question of what fast food place would you be?
Oh no, I never did answer that question, did I? I would not be at McDonald's, I don't think. I don't know what kind of fast. I don't know what fast food I would be. Would I be at Chipotle's, like trash food that pretends it's something a little bit better? Listen. Answering that question forces me to go into deeper introspection than I'm prepared to at the moment, or ever in life.
Well, we all had a real
come to God moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, I would not be a Chick-fil-A. Never in my life.
That's good.
You know what? You know what? I think I would be at Jersey Mike's. You know.
Jersey Mike's. Okay.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I think it's
like a sandwich kind of.
Yeah. I think it's salt of the earth. I think it's a very respectable workman-like sandwich. It's like, yeah, you know, I can just get this decently priced, not too great, not too bad hot sub. And that's what I think. That's me. Not too great, not too bad.
Hot sub.
Hot sub. Yes. I'm giving out way too many secrets here on Indiepocalypse Radio now. But, Paige, did you have something I thought you were going to say?
I don't think so.
Okay. I thought you had also a pressing matter and that you had both spoken at once. But if you do not, then I will say, welcome to the end of the show of Indiepocalypse. Well, it's almost the end of the show of the Indiepocalypse Radio. Instead, we're at the plug section of Indiepocalypse Radio, in which we go clockwise through these profiles that you cannot see if you are listening to this after the fact. So, Paige, what have you got to plug?
I feel like I gotta just plug Mop Boy.
Seems sensible. Anything else?
Yeah.
Okay.
Twitter at Mop Boy Game, Instagram at Mop Boy Game, Tumblr also at Mop Boy Game, but we haven't posted there in like a year.
The hat trick of matching handles, perfect. Cam, what have you got to plug?
If you follow me on itch, that actually has most of my links. CMRNPRRY at .itch.io. I don't know how you search on itch, but yeah, that has a link to my Twitter, my actual portfolio, and my itch has all the games I've made, whether they're good or bad.
Perfect. No shame. Don't do what I did, where you call the stuff you're especially ashamed of.
No, you get to see it all.
In all fairness, I did not delete the pages. I just hid them from my page.
Fair enough.
Not even from public view. You could still find them if you knew where to look for them.
Mm.
Like, I think Blitzkrieg might be hidden, but apparently it's got great SEO. Jordan, what have you got to plug?
All right, so since Paige already plugged Mop Boy Game, I'm gonna have to plug Wilton Creamery. It's this ice cream place in Fort Lauderdale because I went to visit Fort Lauderdale with Paige one time, and they have such their ice cream is so good. Like it is so they got like well okay wait it's just because it's like 2 seconds. It's just spelled as you'd think, Wilton, like Wilton Creamery. I don't know how you find them, but I'm sure you have that.
Just head down the
So
Fort
give it a
Lauderdale.
look. If you're ever in the area, they got the ice cream.
Oh, perfect. I don't know if I'll ever be in that
True.
area, but do they have conventions down there? I assume they must have conventions in Fort Lauderdale.
Honestly, I don't think they have a very heavy convention scene, but I could just not be involved enough to know.
But so maybe I will. But I'll think about it. I'll put it in. It'll be stored away somewhere in my brain, and then I'll think, oh, Wilton Creamery.
Well, before,
chain?
because something else I'd like to posit is
Okay.
that life is long, you know?
It is.
So maybe before you die,
Hot
you just
take.
want to travel all the way to Florida for one ice cream.
I thought once what it would be like to town hop across Massachusetts, staying one day in every town.
Ooh,
Just like really experiencing things town by town. But that would take a lot of like extra time and money. But
that's true. That does sound expensive in terms of time and money.
yeah, and I don't know. I like traveling sometimes and seeing like, all of these towns are full of people all living 24-hour days who don't know who I am. I don't know who they are, but the world is big and long, and we are not there. There are no stories, and we are not characters in them.
Whoa.
And with that, I will say, go to indiepocalypse.com and buy Indiepocalypse. Indiepocalypse.com/submit to submit your game. Indiepocalypse.com/Patreon to basically get charged monthly for the game, for the things, and just have them delivered to Patreon. Or if you want to hear this radio show, if you're tuning in right now and you want to hear the radio show like the Monday after, and you're like, oh shit, I missed it. At $5, you can get it. There's a Discord. It's, you know what? Guess what it is? Indiepocalypse.com/Discord. People kind of talk in there sometimes. I don't really use it, but whatever. People like Discords. I said, hey, do you want me to turn this into a forum? Someone's like, I don't care. I was like, yeah, good point. I don't care either. Whatever. Indiepocalypse.com/radio is how you go here. Tell your friends to subscribe. And if they're sitting on a Prime subscription, tell them, and they're like, I want to use my Prime subscription, but I never want to use it when people are streaming because I don't want them to shout me out on stream. Well, you know what? I don't shout anyone out on stream, and I'm barely streaming, so you can do it when I'm offline, you can do it when I'm online. I will never be like, yo, thanks Bong Lord for the 12-month sub, and I won't play a gift during it. I respect your privacy, and I will die before I become a Twitch streamer. With no disrespect to Twitch streamers, but that life ain't for me. Those vibes ain't mine. I think I have all my redirects. If you're listening to this live, indiepocalypse.com/sale, it's the Lunar Itch.io New Year sale, whatever. It's still going. $10.05 for an issue of Indiepocalypse, or buy 5 and get 1 free. The price is never going lower. Oh no, I have attained the voice affectation accidentally of Mark Proch on Cinema, and I'm going to close this show because I'm weirding myself out like this and I don't like it. Anyway, goodbye everybody. That's the end of the show.